Hello, my friends. D.L. Anderson here. Welcome back to Transformation by Truth podcast as we share the truth concerning these last days and what you must do to save yourself from the violent times that are just ahead. Today's podcast is a word of truth accounting of the end times. The end is coming. The end is near. Today's podcast is entitled End Times 331, How Doubt Plagues the Mind, Part 1. The deadly alliance between doubt and your personality. The podcast objectives are: make a call for all to have compassion for those who are doubting, reveal how doubt deceives your personality, and reveal how your personality defeats 5 positive forces within your mind. This lesson contains timelines and other visuals. Therefore, if you are listening to the podcast, I advise you to watch the video version on our website or YouTube, or request a PDF of the lesson so you can add the visual effect. Show compassion to those who are doubting. Shalom, my beloved brothers and sisters, and welcome to day 61 of our exposition of lawlessness. In the most recent podcast, we analyzed the evolution of stimuli within our thought dimension and how we defeat doubt in our minds. In today's podcast, I will show you the inverse. Vis-a-vis, I will show you how we are defeated by doubt for the following reason, which I will offer as an inflection point. Consider it and be advised. Many within the dying nation of Israel have been subjected to various strongholds of doubt for the simple fact that they are ignorant to how they are losing their battles. Here lies the inflection and the problem. Vis-a-vis, we have already proven that the progression of doubt is a process, and the only way to stop the process is by understanding the progression. Until now, I have revealed the progression of doubt to you in construct, that is, the conceptual model. Now it is time to reveal the progression of doubt to you in practice, that is, the structural model. To wit, I will show you how this progression evolves in our minds, causing us to lose our battles with doubt while incurring many strongholds. No doubt, this is where all the knowledge I have given you thus far in these lessons on doubt will become very real. And thus, I encourage you to share this podcast with anyone you know who is struggling with doubt, as you are led by the Spirit, for this is the will of Elohim. Jude 1, 21 to 23 reads, keep yourselves in the love of Elohim, looking for the mercy of our Master Yahushua Messiah unto everlasting life, and show compassion towards some who are doubting, but others save with fear, snatching them out of the fire, hating even the garment defiled by the flesh. How doubt deceives your personality. Now, in beginning to understand how doubt has the potential to defeat a mind that has been renewed by the Holy Spirit, we should first consider the following interest point. For as I have said before, all the degrees of holiness are superior to all the degrees of lawlessness. Upon receiving the Spirit of Elohim, you will find that doubt and all the derivatives of lawlessness are already present within your mind. Not only this, but they have been there for the full duration of your life, becoming increasingly fixed within your psyche. Now, the question of the hour then is, where is doubt in our minds? I.e., where is doubt launching its counter operations? I.e., where can we find doubt to eliminate it from our minds once and for all? As you would expect, the answer can be found by analyzing the primary bad actor within our thought dimension. Enter your personality. This reality speaks to a critical matter concerning the operations of the degrees of lawlessness and the primary manner in which they work to subvert us. Consider this, my friends, and again, be advised. When lawlessness infiltrates our beings, it seeks to align itself with one of the bad actors in our minds and or our hearts. From there, it gives its support to that bad actor, empowering it and making it stronger. Take your personality. It will have a hard time defeating your conscience, even if you don't have the Holy Spirit. This is because your conscience is strong and your experiences are real. And most of us will not travel the same path twice if that path did not end well the first time around. This is where doubt comes in. Namely, doubt will deceive your personality, promising that it can help him or her defeat your conscience once and for all, and for the first time, establish dominion within your mind. Now, what is so dangerously sinister about this deception is that it is real. It is true. Alas, doubt does indeed have the power to help your personality defeat your conscience. Here is how. By twisting the relationship between your personality and your emotions, doubt can manipulate your feelings to the point where it can override every positive force within your mind, even your voice of reason. This is, no doubt, one of the most critical inflection points I have offered thus far in these lessons on doubt, and I ask you to consider it carefully. Vis-a-vis, your thought dimension has various positive forces which are designed to help you master the Father's will. And yet, doubt, via the manipulation of your emotions, has the power to defeat them all. How one bad actor defeats 5. Now, the $7 million question then is this: how can doubt pull off this seemingly impossible feat? Vis-a-vis, how can doubt empower one bad actor, i.e., your personality, to defeat 5 good actors, i.e., your conscience, your spiritual perspective, your spiritual reality, your experiences, and your voice of reason? In beginning to answer this question, allow me to first state that this subterfuge cannot occur if you are being led by the Spirit. This is why I constantly make a difference between those who are being led by the Spirit and those who have once received the Spirit. Next, we must consider the power of our emotions. Vis-a-vis, our emotions are the most violent actors within our thought dimension. This is not the case for every emotion, but it is the case for many of them. Along these lines, doubt will manipulate our personality into setting off one of our most violent emotions under the premise that the only way our personality can survive is by overriding our conscience. And the only way to achieve this goal is by unleashing our most violent emotions within our psyche. This speaks to the great deception of doubt, which is more or less a microcosm of the model of deception associated with all the channels of lawlessness. Consider this, my friends, and do not be deceived. Doubt deceives your personality into believing that it cannot coexist with your conscience. And yet, this is untrue. They can coexist. And this coexistence is not only one of the greatest works of the Spirit in our lives, but it is also a work that can only be achieved by the Spirit. And yet, even so, this is true. Every one of us will, at some point, be deceived into believing otherwise due to the defective nature of our personality. Now, the reason why doubt will always deceive our personality is sure, and I ask you to consider it faithfully and be honest with yourself. For where there is honesty, there is indeed hope. And to succeed, the situation and the circumstances we are entertaining, we will most definitely need hope. There is a narcissist within each of us who constantly feeds our ego, which is the pinnacle of lawlessness. For that reason, your personality will always buy what doubt is selling, and it will continue to buy after it witnesses the results. Alas, your most violent emotions will override every positive force within your thought dimension, allowing your ego via your personality to control your thought dimension so that he or she can stay alive. And this, my friends, is how one bad actor defeats five. Now, here is the final word. The great dilemma of all mortality is the great faith we put in our personality. There is a saying that suggests you are your own greatest enemy. And in some cases, this may very well be true. And yet, even if this is true, it is not because Yahuwah made you this way. Look here, he did not design mankind to be his own greatest enemy. And yet, it often appears to be this way. Why? Is it not because we, by endorsing lawlessness, have made ourselves his enemy? Brothers and sisters, we have barely begun to address 4 of the 80 degrees of lawlessness, and we can already see how easily Satan can deceive us into becoming someone Yahuwah did not design us to be. And thus, this is the message. You must not allow the enemy to turn you against yourself. You must not allow doubt to reign in your mind. For no one who is plagued by doubt will ever obtain the seal of Elohim. And when he carries us into the great distress, all of these will surely be left behind. Now, here is today's assignment. Meditate on all the lessons you have heard this week and ask the Father to give you clarity on anything you are struggling to receive. And if you are led, please feel free to reach out to me. You can fill out a form on our website and let us know what questions you have. And remember, the only question that can truly hurt you is the one you fail to ask. last but not least, enjoy the upcoming Shabbat and the weekend, and be ready to get back at it next week as we continue to make our calling and election sure in pursuit of the precious and priceless seal of Elohim. Now, here is what's next. We completed today's podcast, End Times 331, How Doubt Plagues the Mind, Part 1. And the next podcast is entitled End Times 332, How Doubt Plagues the Mind, Part 2. I will post this podcast on Monday, September 2nd, 2024. Until then, my friends, continue to be led by the Spirit of Elohim. Continue to watch. Continue to pray. Continue in fasting. And most of all, continue to be focused. For the end is coming. The end is near.